Yo, what's good? It's your man Vernon from Tiger Picks MMA. I'm coming back today to drop y'all another video for the main card for Kai Card France versus Amir Albazi this weekend, June 3rd. And we got some sad news earlier. Found out that Garam versus Jamie Mullarkey got canceled. I don't know if Jamie Mullarkey has another opponent yet. I don't know why Garam withdrew or why it got canceled in the first place, but as of right now Jamie Mullarkey is looking for another opponent. Probably doesn't find one on a week's notice, but hopefully he does, and hopefully they keep the show going for his fight. But anyway, starting off with the main card, we got Karine Silva versus Ketlin Souza. We got Karine Silva coming in 15 and 4. She's 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. She's facing Ketlin Souza, who's 13 and 3, 5'3", and her reach isn't even listed on Tapology. So good luck fighting in that, right? We got Karine Silva, who's a Contender Series fighter. I'm pretty, what's the word I can use? I'm pretty biased towards picking against Contender Series fighter, unless I just remember their fight on Contender Series and it was just like amazing, or it was just like this crazy kind of performance, or a very, very dominant performance. Then I'm just like, Contender Series fighters I'm not very high on anymore, to be honest. When Contender Series first came out, I was kind of high on the fighters, and during the Sugar Sean O'Malley era, I was pretty high on Contender Series fighters back then. But as of lately, they've been letdowns. Just to keep it, call a spade, right? They've been letdowns. Her Contender Series fight, she finished in 2 rounds. Finished Yu Yan, right? Chinese or Korean chick, and that was 22 and 3 at the time. Pretty tough, right? Pretty good record. And then she had her first fight in the UFC versus Poliana Botello, and she finished her within a round. This girl's jiu-jitsu is elite. Don't get me wrong, right? Karine Silva jiu-jitsu is elite. When it gets to the ground, she's looking for her submissions. She's looking to keep top pressure, control, reversals. She's just looking to stay active on the ground, and that's her field right there. Take you to the ground and tap you out. For her last 6 fights, she's riding a 6-fight win streak right now. Her last 6 fights, all of them ended in the first round but one, and that was a Contender Series fight. It's just man, I'm talking up this chick like she's like world class, right? But I do have in my notes here that when she's fighting, she is a very low volume fighter, right? So she doesn't throw too many punches. She doesn't throw too many kicks. She's very low volume, but when she is throwing, it's air punches. It's when she's standing, she's throwing a lot of punches at the air. She's not really hitting anything or trying to hit anything. Just back her opponent up and to the cage. She's throwing a lot of air punches out there. She throws leg kicks, but she throws them too much, and I know I just called her a low output fighter, but her leg kicks become readable to where they can get caught and she gets taken down, right? But if it does get caught and it gets taken down, she's not a fighter where she can't thrive on the ground, as she's shown in her last fights. Me personally, I know I'm talking up this girl, but I think she doesn't have a gas tank after round 2. Maybe after round 1, seriously. I don't know what this girl gas tank is like, and that's what scares me. I'm talking up this girl like she's this, she's that, but she's only went to decision once. I was going to say twice. But no, she's only went to decision once. And guess what? She lost that decision. So that's a big red flag for me. If all your wins are inside round 1 and round 2, and the one time that you go to decision you lose, I mean, honestly, that tells it all right there. On the other end, she's fighting Ketlin Souza, who's 13-3, as I mentioned before. This is her UFC debut. I don't know what the angle is of matching up a fighter that's been on Contender Series or been on Tough or been on one of these little Dana White shows, Dana White looking for a fight, whatever like that. I don't know what the angle is of matching them up against somebody that hasn't even we don't even know these promotions that they're coming from, whatever like that, right? Me personally, I don't know, right? And I'm not gonna say you don't. Me personally, I don't even know the promotions that are coming from. They're not coming from Invicta. They're not coming from Bellator. They're not coming from PFL. They're not coming from all these different other promotions. They're coming from these underground promotions. And if I'm Dana, Sean Shelby, whatever like that, right? If I sign a fighter like this, it's because I you get where I'm going with this. I see something in that fighter. That fighter just coming off a championship fight in Invicta. In Invicta, because I thought earlier I said she wasn't coming from Invicta, but I said Bellator, PFL, and I probably said Invicta, but this fighter is coming from Invicta, and she's coming off of a championship fight, which she won. A 5-round fight, unanimous decision. Before that, she was in another. She was in a 3-round fight. She won it by decision. Before that, she was in another 3-round fight that she won by decision. You see where I'm going with this? This chick is durable. She's shown that she's if she goes to decision, she's gonna she shows that she can get it to decision, and she shows that she's a very smart fighter. She does have a loss to Ariane Carnelosi on her record, which I went back and watched the fight because if you look at Ariane Carnelosi, you just gotta watch, right? You just gotta watch her. She's not world class. It's just how she's built sometimes, like how she's built, right? She's built like a fucking brick house, like female Brock Lesnar out here, like she's just ripped, 100% muscle. I went back and watched the fight, and one thing I noticed about Souza is she keeps her hands very low. And I watched another fight of hers just to see, like I watched the fight the championship fight, Christina Williams, and just to see if she kept her hands low, and that's just her fighting style. Her hands are chest level, and she's like moving side to side, going side to side. And she has low output too, but she likes to win by points. She'll pressure you against the cage. She'll win in the clinch a little bit, take you down. She shows good takedowns. She's a little bit all around, but not world class in any matter, right? I'm not gonna spend all day talking about this fight either. Who do I think wins this fight? Give me the underdog, Souza, at plus, I think it was a good number too, plus 175. Give me the underdog, Souza. Give me by decision. Of course, she's not a finisher. And my confidence in this fight is 4. Like, this is a women's fight. You got Silva, who's on Tapology. If you looking on paper, she's looking like the better fighter, but then you have those red flags that shown like, can this chick actually go the full distance and have good cardio and still keep that great jiu-jitsu that we've seen in previous fights in round 3? Or will she lay on her back for 2 rounds, or all 3 rounds and just look for submissions and just lose that way? That's how I think it's going to go. Give me Ketlin Souza by decision. My bet on this fight is the over 2.5 easily. I don't know the odds. The odds for the overs haven't dropped yet, but give me the over 2.5 for this fight. Next, we got Tim Elliott versus Victor Altamirano. You got Tim Elliott coming in 18-12-1 with one draw. You got Victor Altamirano coming in 12-2. Tim Elliott, 36 years old, 5'7", 67-inch reach. You got Victor Altamirano, 5'8", 70.5-inch reach. So he's having the size advantage a little bit, not by too much. You got Tim Elliott having the cage experience advantage, just more fights, more experience, more time, better opponents in the octagon. And Tim Elliott has this tricky style of striking to where it fits him. It works for him. And it's not on the level of Tony Ferguson tricky or, all these types of fighter, but it's just his weird style of fighting, and it works for Tim Elliott. He switches stances a lot to throw opponents off. He does show a good single leg takedowns to switch up levels. The only thing about Tim Elliott though, because I'm about to list all these good, I was listing all these good things, and I'm like, the only thing about Tim Elliott though is because he's so weird and so unorthodox and so all over the place, his cardio starts to fade as the fight goes on longer. His cardio starts to dwindle, and he doesn't look bad, but it just looks like you can obviously tell, right? Like he's not doing as much movement as he was in rounds 1 and 2, right? He's a high movement type of guy with good top control, good around everywhere, good all around everywhere. He's fighting Victor Altamirano, who comes to bring the fight. He comes to bring the fight every time. He's kind of reckless. He's very reckless at times and likes to barge in with punch kick combos. A lot of punch kick combos, just throwing reckless abandon, trying to land something, trying to make it look as if he's winning the fight. But Victor Altamirano, in my opinion, isn't just that great. He's not that great of a fighter. He knows what he's doing in the octagon, but on the level of Tim Elliott, and it's not like Tim Elliott's 38, 39. He's only 36. Victor Altamirano is 32. This should be a close fight, but Tim Elliott should just outclass him, outsmart him everywhere, on the feet, on the ground. And even if he gets on the bottom in different positions, I believe Tim Elliott can just outclass Victor Altamirano. So who will win this fight? Give me Tim Elliott. How do I think he wins? Either submission or decision. My confidence in him is a solid 7, and I will take his money line. I will be taking his money line at -175. Give me Tim Elliott. We're riding it strong. Next fight, we got Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon, and this is kind of surprise to a lot of people, including myself, because we just seen Jared Gordon not get knocked out, but yeah, he took a headbutt, because I was gonna say like a loss, but it's not a loss. Technically on Tapology, it's not a loss in his books, on his record, or any of that, right? It was I don't even think it was a disqualification for Bobby Green. It was just no contest. Right? But this happened literally a month ago, probably a little bit over a month ago, and now he's coming in to fight Jim Miller. I'm not even going to take too long on this fight. My thing is, and oh my goodness, I'm looking at the odds. All right, let me do the tape of this fight real quick, okay? Because to make sure I'm not missing anything. You got Jim Miller coming in, 35-17. 39 years old. That's the big red flag in people's eyes, I'm guessing. He's 39 years old. He's 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. Then you got Jared Gordon on the other end, who is 19-6, who's 34 years old. 5'9" reach, 5'9", and a 68-inch reach. It just threw me off because Jared Gordon's only 5 years younger than Jim Miller. And I know Jim Miller is pushing 40, but if you ever seen Jim Miller fight, he's a dog. He's literally a dog. At any age, Jim Miller when he was 25 or Jim Miller when he's 35, he's a dog. He's coming to fight. He's not just getting a check from the UFC and it is what it is. He's coming to bring a dog fight every single time. And the thing about Jim Miller is he's hittable. He is very hittable. But he know how to take a hit. That's the thing I'm thinking. One thing about Jim Miller is he knows how to take a hit. And he knows how to manage his cardio very well. He has time in this game, so he knows what he's doing in an octagon. If you see him get hit and it's like a big hit and whatever, don't even phase. Don't even get phased, because trust me, he's not. He's coming straight with the forward pressure. He's coming with some good jiu-jitsu, some good takedowns. He's a little bit all over the place, but he's not. And I don't want to say this with too much confidence, because this weekend could come and Jared Gordon just powers him or outclasses him, and Jim Miller retires this weekend. But I was going to say he's not on his way out, right? He's not on his way out, in my opinion. I don't think so. His last fight, let me see. His last fight was against Alexander Hernandez. Is that Fluffy? No, that's Alexander Hernandez, the Great Ape. That's the guy that got embarrassed by Donald Cerrone. Got humbled by Donald Cerrone back in the day. But that's the Great Ape, Alexander Hernandez. And they went to decision. I'm thinking, I did watch that fight, and Hernandez definitely, he looked better in that fight. He looked good in that fight, but with Jared Gordon coming, and he was in, and if you really go back and look at that fight with Bobby Green, Jared Gordon looked bad. I thought he was acting for a moment, but then they showed a replay, and they headbutted each other, and that definitely played some effect on Jared Gordon. And that headbutt barely affected Bobby Green. Who was the older fighter, I think. I'm not saying Jim Miller's going to come in with his head strong, but I'm just saying Jared Gordon doesn't seem like he can really take a clean hit. And Jim Miller has powerful hands. My pick here is going to be Jim Miller. I think it's going to be a decision or a TKO. I wouldn't be surprised if it is a TKO, because Jared Gordon just got knocked out. But with saying that, he probably plays it a little bit smart, a little bit slower. Jim Miller is not no powerhouse killer, that's just coming to knock heads off or whatever like that. So give me Jim Miller by decision. My confidence is a solid 7 as well as the last fight. And I'm not making a bet on this fight. I'm not making a bet, because my pick is going off of Jared Gordon getting TKO'd his last fight, and his last fight being a month ago. But I don't really know how much that has played effect. So I'm not betting this fight at all. Next, we're moving to Alex Caceres versus Daniel Pineda. You got Alex Caceres coming in at 20-13. You got Daniel Pineda coming in at 28-14. I didn't even know Daniel Pineda had this much more experience than Alex Caceres. I didn't know at all, honestly. You got Alex Caceres, as I mentioned, 20-13, 34 years old, 5'10", with a 73.5-inch reach. Then you got Daniel Pineda on the other side, who's 28-14, 37 years old, older fighter, 5'7", with a 70-inch reach. Alex Caceres coming in as a slight favorite in this fight, -175, as I think he should be. Daniel Pineda is coming in at +140. We're going to take a look at Alex Caceres first. He's coming off of a win versus Julian Erosa, which was a fight that I knew he would win. I went when I was going back and rewatching it, because I watched it and I picked Alex Caceres for the first fight. And he just, he beat on Julian Erosa like it was nothing, honestly. Julian Erosa was coming off of, I want to say, a TKO win, or some type of big win before fighting. Yeah. Not a TKO win, but he outclassed Hakeem Dawadu, who just showed everybody he has no fight IQ. He's a young, explosive fighter with no fight IQ. That's who Julian Erosa beat, and then Alex Caceres beat him. Daniel Pereira is coming off fighting Tucker Lutz, who he finished in 2 rounds with a guillotine choke. And if I remember, I don't even think he was supposed to get that choke. I don't even think he was supposed to get that choke in, to be honest. See, I'm coming to the last bit of my, picks here, and I'm looking at my notes, and I'm like, I could have added a little bit more to this. We're gonna keep it plain and simple. Caceres is coming in showing a nice variety of strikes on the feet. Has great cardio, shows good takedowns, but can also get taken down. But on his back, he will threaten submission attempts, throwing up arm bars, guillotines, triangles, just trying to get the submission or reverse the position. Daniel Pereira on the other end, he's throwing very heavy kicks, especially to the legs. He has good trip takedowns. In the clinch, he likes to fight close in the pocket, and then maybe clinch up if he takes a shot, go for a takedown. The only thing about Daniel Pereira is he fights in the pocket, but he leaves a lot of openings because he throws heavy. He throws a lot of heavy hands, a lot of heavy legs, and he leaves a lot of openings to get rocked, to get taken down, to just be in a losing position because he's trying to get the knockout. So he's sloppy at times. Who will win this fight? Alex Caceres. Give me him by KO or decision. I'm leaning the KO side because of his striking is so precise, and he throws a lot of different looks at an opponent. I can't even talk today. It's crazy. It's blowing me. But Daniel Pereira, he's sloppy, man. He's gonna get caught. He's gonna get caught with one of the strikes and probably dropped and TKO'd or sub. So let me go with TKO or submission for this fight. My confidence level is at 8. Give me Alex Caceres money line. I can't even tell you the odds right now. Give me Alex Caceres money line. Going on to the next fight, the main event, Kai Kara-France and Amir Albazi. I'm struggling, and if you are freaking working with me and watching this to the end, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. This is my second video, my first day on YouTube. We're gonna continue on with the main event. Kai Kara-France versus Amir Albazi. You got Kai Kara-France coming in at 24-10, 5'4", with a 66.5-inch reach. Then you got Amir Albazi coming in 16-1, 5'5", with a 68-inch reach. You got Kai Kara-France coming in off the the loss versus Brandon Moreno. I don't even know why I had to think about that one. He got the body kick and dropped. He was looking good the whole fight up until the body kick, up until that round, honestly, and then he started to gas a little bit. Not ate the body kick, but took the body kick and dropped like a sack of potatoes. It was just on the ground. It was pretty bad. I didn't like seeing Kai Kara-France, balled up like that after taking a body kick. But I understand, it's the fight game and that's what they live for. He's coming in fighting. Let me continue with Kai Kara-France. He does have a powerful overhand. He has fast hands. He fights hands well when defending subs. He has good balance when defending takedowns and has a lower stance than usual when taking on wrestlers. So when he's in there in the cage against a wrestler, he's going to fight lower to the ground to try to defend takedowns, sprawl, and keep the boxing tight. Albazi, on the other hand, he has a good use of jab. He throws a good jab and has a good use of low leg kicks. Throws a lot of feints, so it's kind of like to confuse the opponent. He'd probably feint a jab, throw a leg kick, feint a jab, grab a leg, get a takedown. He has a powerful straight right, has a good double leg takedown, and has good offensive submissions. He would throw weapons on his back. He would throw submissions. Out there said throw weapons. He would throw submissions from his back. He would throw submissions on top. He's always active, looking for a submission, looking for a finish. I'm excited for this fight, to be honest. I keep throwing a lot of because, man, I don't know who's going to win this fight. Earlier in this week, I was high. Earlier in this week, it's Monday. Earlier in last week, I was high on Kai France. I even texted a lot of people I know. I was like, Kai France is the lock of the month. Kai France is gonna, beat the shit out of Albazi. Bet all the money on Kai France. Now I'm telling people, if you did, oh, this is bad. But I'm saying now, if you made a bet on Kai France already, pull that bet. He's not winning this weekend. I'm not. All right. Let me take a step back. I'm not gonna say he's not winning this weekend, but to put money on him versus Albazi this weekend would be foolish, I would say. Albazi has the potential to just outpoint Kai France and win by decision, and I think that's how he's going to get it done. He's going to win over minutes, and he's going to keep it competitive in the striking, and maybe in the later rounds get takedowns and just secure positions over Kai France. Yeah. I want to say we done. We don't have a bet for that fight. No bet for that fight, because I'm thinking like, do I want to make a bet on that fight or not? No bet for that fight. We have 2 bets that we're running for the prelims, 2 bets that we're running for the main card. The 2 bets that we're running for the prelims is going to be. I wrote this down. Oh yeah, Nurmagomedov, Abukar Nurmagomedov money line, easy bet for me. I'm not even going to think too much about that one. Then we are also taking Daniel Santos money line, easy bet. Daniel Santos and Nurmagomedov. I think earlier in my first video I said I was taking Dontel Mays, but we're going to play it smart and just take 2 from the prelims and 2 from the main card. Give me Daniel Santos and give me Abukar Nurmagomedov. From the main card, I want to say I shared my picks already. Give me Souza Silva fight to go over 2.5, and then give me Tim Elliott money line. I want to say those are the 2 that I'm rocking with, and yep. Freak, man. If you watch this all the way through, God bless you.